Today we're doing two NFL player props here on PrizePicks for Thursday Night Football between the Jaguars and the Saints. Thursday, October 19th. Before I get started, you guys, take a look in the description below. Hop into our premium Discord, $9.30 per month. It comes out to 31 cents per day here. It's where I post all the plays I'm making on PrizePicks. We also have other premium cappers in there as well that post all of their plays, research, and analysis on multiple different sports, NHL, CSGO, obviously NBA starting very, very soon. Every single sport really that you couldn't bet on, we have people posting their slips, thoughts, and analysis on plays. Everyone in the community also posting their thoughts, plays, whatever they're playing that specific day. Super positive community. Link in the description below for that. I also need to mention I'm not a gambling expert, you guys. This is not financial advice at all. See, these are simply plays I'm personally looking at making, hopefully give you guys some insight and analysis to make your own player prop decisions here. Again, no one's pressing submit on those parlays other than yourselves. But let's get right into it. Two NFL player props for this Thursday Night Football game. We got a 2-point spread in New Orleans in the Dome Stadium, which helps us, I think, just overall. And then 40.5 over-under. We know Thursday Night Football games have been pretty tough overall. Both these plays kind of mitigate the risk, I think, from just a horrible game, which hopefully we get a decent game here. Hopefully we get a decent game as the season gets a little bit deeper. Teams, obviously have a little bit more grasp of their offense and things like that. We're about almost, I want to say, what is this, week 7? So we're almost halfway through the season. It's been pretty crazy that we're already here. Obviously, this is the last Thursday Night Football game where there's no NBA. So next week, there'll be NBA and Thursday Night Football on the same day. Again, I'm posting NBA content as well, NBA player prop videos every single day as well. So make sure you guys hit that subscribe button and drop a like on this video. We cashed on our Monday Night Football and NFL plays as well. So let's get into this, though. This should be a good game. First play is going to be NFL first half prop. It's going to be fantasy scores. It's going to be Derek Carr over 6.5. All right, so I think Derek Carr first half fantasy score was like the first week 1 NFL play that I gave on this channel, and it actually missed. But I'm going back to him here because we've been consistently seeing Derek Carr at 6.5. I think he's finally getting a grasp of the offense, getting comfortable in New Orleans after all those years in Vegas. And I think after the AC sprain joint, he's finally getting healthy. And then also he has Alvin Kamara back, which I really, really think is benefiting him the most. So we take a look at Derek Carr, his last 5. He's over this in 3 of his last 5 games, but more specifically, he's over this in his last 2 with Alvin Kamara back in the lineup. 9.96 in the first half versus the the New England Patriots, and 10.48 last week in the first half versus the Houston Texans. Who, again, both these teams, let's not talk about the Patriots. They're not very good at all on defense, but the Texans were like the 4th best, I guess, pass coverage against in the NFL. So he did pretty well against them. Here he is back at home, and we take a look. 2-point spread, 40.5 over under. Vegas expecting some points here, but we look at this fantasy points calculator, right? Derek Carr, 75 passing yards and 1 passing touchdown is 7 fantasy points. Like, that's an over for him. If say he doesn't throw a passing touchdown, but he throws 140 passing yards, right? Derek Carr, that's 5.6 right there for 140 passing yards. And this Jaguars defense can absolutely be exploited with the pass. We look at Jaguars against quarterbacks this season, right? Just against quarterbacks, the Jaguars giving up the 5th most fantasy points to the quarterback position, 23.9 fantasy points per game to the quarterback position. They're giving up the 2nd most passing yards in the NFL. Yards per attempt as well. They're right here, 7.15 yards per attempt. And it's not like they're giving up a ton of fantasy points like on the ground either. 108 rushing yards, 2 rushing touchdowns really. But like I said, the 5th most fantasy points to the quarterback position, along with the 2nd most passing yards. And we look at them against running backs. They are extremely tough against the run. The 4th fewest yards per carry, 3.44 yards per carry they're allowing to running backs. Running backs just not really effective at all. But we look at running backs in the pass against the Jaguars, right, which is Alvin Kamara's specialty, right? Him getting moved out wide, lining up in the slot and things like that. What is this? 1, 2, 3, 7th most receiving yards to the the running back position, even dating back to last year, right? The Jags gave up a ton of offense to their running back position. We look at receptions. Jaguars 2nd most receptions overall. So the Jaguars even last season were pretty stout against the run here. 7th fewest yards per carry, which translate, if the teams are stout against the run, we know they're looking to pass. And I think with Derek Carr getting Alvin Kamara back, he has a ton of weapons. Like, we look at Derek Carr, his last 2 games, he's finished a full game, 17.6, right? And then 21.9 fantasy points finishing the game, right? Which is pretty decent. Throwing the ball a little bit more, he threw 32 for 50. Now, the Saints' red zone offense has been pretty horrific, right? So I think we're going to need Derek Carr to get us some scores, like not in the red zone, maybe a deep shot to a Chris Olave. But taking a look at the kind of the Saints depth chart here, where is this depth chart at? If we can find it. You guys know the offense that the Saints have, right? They've got Michael Thomas, Chris Olave, Alvin Kamara, Taysom Hill, Rashid Shaheed. There is so many reasons for Derek Carr, or there's no reason for Derek Carr to not hit a 6 and like. There's literally like the only quarterbacks with the line of 6.5 first half fantasy score are like backups who are getting a start for the week. Like we're seeing Patrick Mahomes at 12.5, you guys, and this is a starting quarterback in the NFL who's been a starting quarterback in the NFL. Like I know people say people don't like Derek Carr, but I mean this guy's a 4-time Pro Bowler. Like a 6.5 first half fantasy score at home against a team that gives up the second most passing yards to quarterbacks. We look at this as well. Yards after the catch this season, the Jaguars giving up the third most yards after the catch, as well as the what is this? Where are they here? Or air yards, total air yards. 1, 2, 3, sixth most total air yards, right? Total air yards on completions, and then the third most yards after the catch on completion. So we're looking at them being very, very exploitable on defense. I think it's a great spot for Derek Carr. 6.5, you guys, just way too low for me. I mean, if Derek Carr throws a passing touchdown in the first half, this is green. Like if he throws a passing touchdown in the first half, this is absolute cash. We look at back to the fantasy score calculator, right? Derek Carr, if he throws 65 passing yards and 1 passing touchdown, 6.6. Like 65 passing yards and 1 passing touchdown. He's going to get 4 to 5 series in this game. The Saints defense is very elite. And I definitely think with, Trevor Lawrence possibly being how questionable, I don't know how that knee is. Hopefully Derek Carr can just absolutely, come out, play really well in primetime at home. Definitely looking healthy as of late. Derek Carr first half fantasy scores the first play. Now the second play here, I was looking honestly for a while. I was doing research for a while on these Jaguar props, and nothing was really standing out to me. I did come across this play here that I do like. It's gonna be Devon Lloyd over 6 tackles plus assists here. I definitely think as far as if we get a shitty game, tackles plus assists is a kind of a way to mitigate the risk if there's just no good offense, right? When we look at Devon Lloyd over on Outlier. Again, you guys, I use Outlier every single day, and their phone app on the iPhone or whatever phone you use, their mobile app is absolutely elite, you guys. I use Outlier every single day. Sorry. I use Outlier every single day for my sports research, my sports betting research, you guys. I think it's a great tool. But Devon Lloyd, he's listed at 5.5 on DraftKings and Caesars, but minus 160 and minus 169, you guys, to go over 5.5 tackles plus assists. He's over this line in 6 of his last 10. He actually missed a few games here. So he started the season. This is so far this season, right? Let's see, find Devon Lloyd. He had 3 tackles plus assists against Indy, 11 versus Kansas City, and then came out of the game. I think he only played 75% of the snaps in this game. Still finished with 5. And then his most recent game, he missed 2 games, and now is back here. Was back here for the game, Indiana versus Jacksonville, and finished with 9 tackles plus assists. We look at his snap count. Right, I mean, he's going to play. He played 100% of snaps, 99, and then 75 in the game. He got hurt, missed 2 weeks, and then last week in his first week back after missing 2 weeks, played 97% of the snaps next to, obviously, a tackle machine in Foyesade Oliokun. So we look at Foyesade, and his tackles plus assists is at 10.5, right? We get extreme value here at 6 flat, push potential, right? Obviously, 5.5 is at minus 169 on Caesars. We even date back to last season. I mean, Devon Lloyd cleared this line, had at least 6 tackles plus assists in 13 of 19 games last year, right? 13 of 19. When we look at his last 10, he's still over in 6 of 10. 6 of 10. We look at Bet365, which is a sports book here. He's at minus 120 over 6.5, you guys. So I think at 6, we get a great sweet spot with extreme value here, in my opinion. Minus 120 at 6.5. So he's at minus 120 at 6.5 on Bet365, and he's at minus 169 over 5.5 at Caesars. It's just great value here at 6. I think he's obviously going to play 100% of the snaps here. We look at linebackers, tackles plus assists game log this season versus the Saints. We just saw the last 2 weeks, right, specifically with Alvin Kamara back in the lineup. Blake Cashman, Houston Texans. Blake Cashman was named, I believe, AFC Defensive Player of the Week. He finished with 15 tackles plus assists here against the Saints. And then the week before that, with Alvin Kamara in the lineup as well, Jawan Brentley finished with 11 tackles plus assists. We saw Houston Henry Tototo finish with 6 here. He's obviously the secondary linebacker in that offense, in that defense for the Texans. And then Brantley and Tavai both finished with 6 plus, 8 and 11 combined, 18 total tackles plus assists. So it's just a great spot, I think, with him being over 6.5 minus 120 on Bet365 and minus 169 over 5.5. Like I think you guys don't underestimate. I think people underestimate just like odds here. Like these sports books, you guys have. I don't want to say like not scientists, but they have people that they pay a lot of money to create these odds, right? And they generate a ton of information here to bring these odds and give these kind of these lines and the odds and things like that. So minus 169 to go over 5.5 tackles plus assists here. I'm gonna pivot and take obviously the push here at 6. PrizePicks is no way PrizePicks is giving a line that's minus 169 on books. There's no way they're gonna give it at 5.5. So I do like it at 6 here. I think with the checkdowns that Derek Carr is going to be looking towards Alvin Kamara, I know he could possibly get Jamal Williams as well. And we know Derek Carr likes to target over the middle, with Michael Thomas and things like that. So Devon Lloyd over 6 tackles plus assists here. Two player props here for Thursday Night Football. Derek Carr over 6.5 first half fantasy score. Devon Lloyd over 6 tackles plus assists. Let me know in the comments below. Also wanted to share something with you guys that's interesting. Like we look at the Jaguars, we look at their receptions line. Like we get Christian Kirk, Evan Ingram are both at 5, and then Calvin Ridley's at 4, which is crazy to think about. Like I just want to share with you guys, which is crazy to think about. And we look at their receiving targets. This is where you just don't know who Trevor Lawrence is going to feed. Like they have Christian Kirk, Calvin Ridley, and Evan Ingram all at 7.5 reception targets. Like 3 of these guys are all at 7.5. It's crazy stuff. But nonetheless, 2 player props. You guys drop a like on this video, hit that subscribe button, and as always, let's cash.